Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast channel on this episode of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Tonight, well, it was a shit show in Torino. Milan showed up, and then the second half didn't even bother to come out to play. We have a lot of questions for this disappointing result. We're going to talk about the upcoming game in the Champions League against Girona, and we're going to talk, of course, all of Serie A's results. It's me, Fabio, filling in for Vinny tonight with Stevie. We're hot, man. We're hot. We did not like what we saw, and we're going to get into it. But, baby, if you like what you hear and see, do us a favor if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Smash the bell so you can be up to date with all of our latest videos when we're going live. Leave a comment later. Please check us out on Patreon. And the super chats are open, baby. Let's get some super chats going. Guys, we are on fire tonight. Stevie, are you ready?
They were shit. They were shit, and I'm ready. Let's go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Milan Weekly Podcast. I'm Fabio, joined by, of course, one of our co-hosts, Steve. While we are not professionals,
Nor do we pretend to be.
we're here to kick it and give you all the Milan news. We're going to talk, of course, the game against Juve and so much more later on. But, Steve, it's a holiday over here in America, so happy Martin Luther King Day. But this team showed up with no heart. And it was really disappointing, Steve.
This team was on Martin Luther King Day during the weekend. So really pissed off. Not a game that I enjoyed. Scrapped my weekend. And that's what Milan does to us. That's what Milan does to guys like us and everybody in the chat and everybody who's going to listen tomorrow. It's that what people need to understand in the higher ups, right? They need to hire up. Facebook Frank, don't worry, he's wearing your hat at Milan Club Toronto. Don't worry about it. It's not the point. It's not all about you, Facebook Frank. We do have a show to do. So calm down with the comments because I'm in one of those moods tonight there. Everybody's going to get ripped, and I'm really pissed off. We'll get into the game, but honestly, it's a long time I haven't been pissed off like this. Maybe it's a couple of weeks there, but this one really pissed me off because Juve sucks. Juve sucks, guys. They suck.
Yeah, well, in the first half, again, we looked like the better team. So let's kind of go through the game. We had no Morata, so Abraham was starting with Morata being suspended for this one. And honestly, we looked alive, at least for the first 26 minutes. At least it looked like we weren't going to get that snooze fest from back in November, more akin to what we got in the Supercopa game. So Milan has a couple of good chances. Let's kind of go through them quickly. Reindeers has a nice shot that's blocked and bounced off of Tomori at like the 19th minute and ends up going out. So we don't even get a corner off that one. Then probably our best chance that we get the entire game comes from this insane chaotic sequence at the 27th minute where Fofana, he 1-2s with Deo, which releases Deo on the left side. Deo makes a beautiful pass, somehow finds its way onto Leao, who makes a nice shot, but Di Gregorio makes the save. Musa ends up on the rebound, but this guy, I don't know what the hell he's doing. Can't get the ball from out from under his feet. He should immediately just be trying to shoot when you're like super close to the goal line right there. Doesn't get it off. Ends up getting to Deo, who his shot gets blocked but it was most likely going wide. That's really our best opportunity. We got one more one right before the end of half. And Tijani, also another thing that kind of pissed me off about that little sequence where Leao gets a shot saved is that Tijani goes down thinking he gets a penalty. So he just lies in the box for the entire sequence. Doesn't even attempt to get up and look, if the ref didn't call you a penalty immediately, you think lying down for the next 5-10 seconds is going to change anything? Try to get on your feet. We're in an attacking zone. I don't know, Steve. That really pissed me off. What do you think, man?
So, those sequences are important, and I think we said it last time when I was on with Vinny. I got some answers to the questions that I had the last time, right? I was like, I'm done with Morata. I need to see someone else. Let's try Tammy Abraham, or let's try them together. Why he won't go to the 4-4-2 is beyond me, because I think we play better in that formation for some reason. I'm not going to sit here to pretend to tell you exactly why I know we play better. Is it because we switch to that formation when we're down? I don't know. But like you said, 26 minutes, it was a game. I was watching two teams that wanted to win this game. And then, Fabio, it's just error after error after error. You're talking about Musa can't get the ball. He's in quicksand. Sometimes he looks like as if he's the next coming of the midfield that we actually need, and then sometimes he looks like someone who can't even play for the Futuro, right? So it's really confusing. It's something that I cannot wrap my head around. And Sonny's on his voyage from throughout Europe, from Norway to Switzerland. So Stevie P took reign of the designing for this podcast, and I had questions, and some of them are a joke, but some of them are real. Like, what are we doing? What's happening? Like, my first question that I even removed from the thumbnail was, what's happening? What's happening?
There's a lot, but let me just touch on what happened in the second half. And this is possibly one thing you could say when you look at Conceicão's teams. And at least the last couple of games, we seem to come alive. With the one exception where we took the goal. When we fall behind, we wake up in the second half, and we've always had better second halves. This was the worst second half we've had. Timmy Weah. Fucking American. Listen, man, he comes into the game. He makes an immediate difference for Juve. You see, again, you could say what you want about Juve, but look at the players that they sub in and look at the players that we're forced to sub in because of injuries, because of poor choices, right? They should have scored immediately. Koopmeiners scored, almost scored in the 53rd minute, and then Juve finally does it. Again, deflection off Emerson's foot. Mike gets a hand but can't stop it. Again, just looks so chaotic. We're down 1-0. All right. I kept saying 1-0. We got them where we want them. That's exactly what we like. We'll turn it up now. And within 10 minutes, they did it again. Weah cooks Tomori badly on a 1-on-1, and he's just shoots a nice low shot. Mike can't even get his foot on it. Looked like he could have done a little better. But again, here's a sequence where both our center back and goalkeeper need to do better. And there's no other opportunities after that. That's the 64th minute. And then they just walked out the rest of the game. There was no heart, no fight from us. We couldn't string pass together. They were pathetic. So let's get to the part, Stevie. First, what are your thoughts on the two goals that we give up, man? I know you're saying, what can you do? Emerson blocking it. You don't want him to go after the ball. But still, just poor.
Look, guys, we can go crazy, and Gio sending us true super chats. He's in the goddamn podcast. Like, thank you, buddy. But
he's starting a trend. I like
he's starting a trend. Very, very nice of you, Gio. Thank you. Musa should play in the NFL. Yeah, he looks like a linebacker. Maybe he's right. Yeah. But to get back to your point, the two goals, right? I think the first one, we're missing a huge factor in why this Milan suffers, right? So this Milan suffers is because sometimes our midfield has a complete brain cramp and brain fart. And
Yes.
the people that usually look bad after these brain cramps and brain farts are the defenders. Whether it's right back, again, Emerson Royale, guys, I do not hide it. He does his own damage to himself. You know my feelings on him. But then you have the center backs, and then you have the left back, right? So we're starting to come to terms that the left back, Theo Hernandez, has to understand that his role now is not run and gun anymore. He's gonna have to work on his defensive portion of his game, and someone needs to tell him that. And I hope it's Constantao who tells him that. And then you go to the center backs, guys. Put whatever center back you want in there. And again, there's maybe a handful of world-class center backs now, or top-class center backs. When you're on your back heel, like Tomori was on the second goal, and you don't understand what's happening to the left or the right of you, it's really because he had options too. It's not only the shot. He did great on the shot, but Timmy Weah also had options. And you're on an island. And when you're on an island, it's not fun. And if I'm Tomori, and I've talked about his body language in the past where, it's not the best, but it's not the best at really wrong times. Like after that goal, that's when you start, like someone needs to pay the price for that. Like, and on that goal, it's Fofana who's losing the ball again in the midfield because it's an extra touch. It's an extra touch for no reason. And this is what needs to be cleaned up in this team, because we need to figure out something to manage and win the midfield, or else we're going to get these chances on us, especially because we don't play a high line, the Fonseca high line, because that was like high line that you see in Garage League soccer. But we're still in a high line, so we still want to make sure. But if you're playing a high line and there's that much gap between your midfielders and your defenders, there's something that's not jiving in it to make the system work for them, right? So this is what I saw from the game on both goals. It seems like we were disjointed, dysfunctional, going backwards. But we cannot be that mentally fragile where, in 5 minutes we lose this game to a plastified Juventus, because Timmy Weah should be starting this game. He shouldn't be coming off the bench, in my opinion. I think he gives more than what they have in there. Yeah, you spend a lot of money on Kubernetes, but Kubernetes, whatever the hell his name is, Kupenmaker, he's not doing it, because you saw in the weekend he laid a big during the week he laid a big fat egg against Atalanta,
and they were very, very disrespectful to him.
Yeah, very disrespectful to him, right? So, again, I don't believe, and again, I don't know what else you have, but this is the frustrating part, Fabio, for me, is I took a really long, hard look, because I have Juventini fans and I have Juventini friends that are telling me, we beat you. They couldn't tie this game to make my weekend pass a little bit more enjoyable. No, they had to lose against Juventus. And I'm telling you guys, if you look at the both teams, on paper, position for position, there is no way, and I know there's a Juventini in the chat, but if you take off your Juve glasses, there's no way that this Juve team is better than ours. There's no way. I'm sorry. There's no way.
I think there's still, without Pulisic and a real striker, honestly, we look suspect. Our midfield, that's the thing that bothered me most about the game, Steve, and I'll tell you, is that we didn't look good in one aspect of the game. Our strikers were terrible. Our midfield is so tired and overrun. Every week we're pushing Tijani and Fofana to a point where they're going to make mistakes because there are no breaks for them. They need to play every game as long as they can, and we have no depth. So to me, I just think you're playing them to the bone, and now you're seeing they're making constant mistakes. Fofana, this is like his second game in a row. He looks awful, makes like a key mistake. So and defensively, not good. But when I look at it, we have no tops, right? Let's do tops and flops so we can get off this game, right? There is no top. We looked at the ratings, we looked at the players. I don't know who you could give a top to. There's no possible top, right?
There is no top for me. They all get a flop. That's their one. But if I have to pinpoint,
but who's the big flop
for me? Watching this game, and I think his role needs to be redefined. His role needs to be understood of what we need from Fofana. But it's too many times that we're losing the ball in key situations, and it's causing us so much harm on the counterattack that both, Fofana and Reindeers, you need to be better in the midfield. And I don't know how Conceição does that, because we'll talk about who we're targeting and who we're and I don't think we're targeting the right people, because the issue is in the midfielder area and in the attack. It's very simple. It's not complicated. It's something that should have been addressed a long time ago.
My flop this game, I got to tell you, I have to give it to Tomori. Besides the fact that all the rumors are talking about you all week, possibly that this team wants to sell you, this team is interested in you, you go out there and you lay an egg. An egg. I mean, he looked terrible on that goal. I know you're saying it's probably collectively an issue, but for me, I just thought, Tomori, here's your moment, man. Step up, make the play. That prevents us from going down 2-0. And it was a bad showing from him. Bad showing. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. What do we think about Tomori to Juve possible? Now, Steve, I wouldn't be against it, but why are you doing it now? And honestly, why are you sending another player to Juve? Don't you learn your lesson? Like we just gave him Kalulu. Watch, they're going to turn around and win the championship next year with our two damn center backs. It's like, what are we doing here? And Tomori's English. Sell him, get some money. Sell him to England, should I say.
The problem is this, right? We constantly, and it never happened in the past. It was very rare. We stole Seedorf and Pirlo from Inter for Fernando Coco. Okay, and it was more the Seedorf deal.
Yeah,
that's ludicrous. You understand? As an Interist, you cannot let that happen. And there's someone in the chat that I need to remind you. As after that, we won 3 Champions Leagues. So you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna miss, but you cannot strengthen your rivals. Even if it's, the Kalulu thing, we said it from the beginning. Sell him anywhere you want. Sell him to West Brom. Sell him to Stoke. Sell him to La Sorita di Gina. Sell him to anybody else but Juve. Inter. Don't sell anybody. Don't sell anybody to them. We did them a favor with the Bonucci. You still didn't learn. We went and take Bonucci because we thought that we were going to reinvent, which till this day, I didn't believe it. Even the next day when it came out and it was on paper, like I didn't believe it. Even when he was doing a press conference, I didn't believe that this was happening. And again, let's start. Okay, everybody, okay, whatever. We let Pirlo go for free. That was Galliani. He made a mistake.
Yeah, big mistake.
Big mistake.
Rossini, right?
Whatever it is, Fabio, you can't. At a certain point, sign him for a lot of money. Sign him for the money that he wants. He wanted 3 years. Give him the 3 years, right? Oh, you don't want people past a certain age. Okay, great. Sign him. And then sell him if you want to sell him. It's okay. He wanted to go to Real Madrid. He wanted to go to Chelsea. Sell him. But don't make him go for free. You understand? We're going to say, stupid Hakan. It's stupid. But at a certain point, shut the hell up. Sign him. And then sell him. So, look, someone's going to come.
Look at
Someone's going to
Ricky.
come for him. Yeah.
They're going to sell him, and they just signed him to a contract extension, so he knew he can get as much money as they can from him.
We're so bad at that portion of the business that we'll see from the other slides, Fab.
Yeah.
We're terrible at that part. And don't tell me that Maldini was great at this either. We had the person. We had Galliani and Berlusconi for the longest time. Okay. And times were different. But this Milan, as much as I shit on Serie A, they didn't adjust to the times. Like, you need to adjust to the times and what Serie A can give you.
All right, so we had questions. So I'm left asking. So were you, Steve. You were asking a lot of these questions. Let's bring them up. Let's start with the questioning regarding the team, right? And what we just witnessed. So why the difference from 2 weeks ago? Was Juve just better than us this week?
No. This is on the players. It's the mentality. It's Juve playing at home, wanting to get a result. And not that I'm saying that the other games that they tied, 12 in a row, if I'm not mistaken, at home, they didn't want to win. It's just that team had as much as the mentality going for the win, and it ended up in a draw. And, not coming out in the second half of the of a type of game this big, it has to be on the players, because we're seeing that this guy has gotten them ready for games, and in a short period of time. So I need to give him the benefit of the doubt that he got them riled up for this one, because 26 minutes they look like they wanted to play, and then you faded away.
So we kind of mentioned that we believe that Conceição is only doing so much with this team collectively right now, how they are. It's the players, right? So is it the players the reason where we're having such a bipolar season? Or are we going to have to seriously look at this roster and say, these guys are just not up to the caliber that we need to be able to win?
So I don't think it's I think a little bit is the caliber. And, he mentioned it today in one of the articles, saying you saw with the changes that I needed to make at the end, I needed to be able to put something on with a little bit more quality, and I just don't have them at my disposal right now, right?
Yeah.
Which is fair, and I like and I can respect that he's speaking the truth. The other thing is that this has to do with mentality. Like, another comment then he says that worries me even more, and we were never gonna get this from Fonseca, and this is what a lot of people keep on always harping. Oh, it's the where we lost this game. It's the coach the problem. Well, when it was Fonseca, it was the coach the problem, because at a certain point we weren't gonna have these conversations. We were not gonna have someone say the truth, and for him to come out and say when we played Cagliari that was like the worst half of soccer that he saw in his career, and now we play Juve, and he understands the importance of this game. Not to say that Fonseca doesn't understand it, but he understands the importance of this game. And he says this is one of the teams that he's coached in his 13-year career that has the least amount of character. Personalità. Now, personalità in Italian and character in English, they're two heavy words, Fab.
Yeah.
They're two very, very heavy words, because Italians have one word that means like 7 things, right? So if we translate it word for word, I translate it as character. That's a major problem. That's a major, major problem, right? So is it the players? I think the players have a big responsibility now, because it cannot be the coach. The excuse of the coach is gone now. Now it's on you. It falls directly on you.
Well, the other question you were asking on there is it the owner's fault? I don't believe per se the owner, but the owner is in charge of hiring the people that run this club. And honestly, I think where when you look at it, especially on January 20th, and we again still have no actual moves to talk about except a failed one. How do they turn this around, Steve? That's the real question. How do they turn it around?
Look, I have this conversation all the time. Like, again, I'm just tired of the excuse of the owner. I'm tired because
No.
we had Young Hong Lee, and I'm gonna just set it straight for once and for all. It doesn't happen in North American sports that we have a fake fucking owner. We had a fake owner, a guy who didn't exist. Could people just like put that into context for a bit? We had someone, Silvio sold the team to someone who didn't exist. For whatever reason it is, he didn't exist, Fab. Right? And then he doesn't have the money to pay for the team. So I'm not gonna be like Interist and make it like it wasn't a problem. It was a fucking big problem, Fab. We were a team that had no owner. And we had an Elliott fund who came, and their job, whether we want to admit it or not, is they wanted their money back. They didn't give a flying fuck about Milan. They wanted their money back. But to get their money back, they were intelligent enough to put the right people at the right spots. And we won a miracle Scudetto with 10 people. It's a miracle, Fab. But at a certain point, Elliott was not going to own us forever. Guys, go look at Elliott Fund. They are a hedge fund, a very aggressive hedge fund for risk loans with very high interest. Soccer, football is not in their business, but they will save you, and they did. But they were going to sell to someone, and they sold to the person who put out the cash, guys. Like Jerry Cardinal is the one who put out the cash. If fake or not fake, $1, $2 in some Bitcoin cloud. I don't know what to tell you guys, but he's the one who paid. So his job as an owner, whether we like it or not, guys, and if you watch North American sports, guys, 85% of the owners are exactly like him. They want to be sustainable. They want to make money. They want to make money. And if he doesn't make money, he's not going to lose money. They're not in the business to lose money. American owners, and like go across the board. Every sports franchise. I don't think there's an owner that gets into it because he wants to lose money. I'm sorry. I don't get that. It's like, oh, he doesn't want to spend. No, could it be, guys, he can't spend?
I think it's also just, in honesty, this is going to be the first year that they really probably take a little bit of a hit, but they're still in the positive. They've been in the positive for years now. So why purposely keep going further? For us, the only owners that do that will risk going into the red for their project is because they don't care about the money. That the money doesn't matter to them. All that matters is winning, and they could throw millions of dollars into the win like it's nothing. But unfortunately, that's not our case. Our issue is having the correct people evaluate talent, evaluate contracts and salaries, and then being cheap and not knowing how to close the deal.
It's unfortunate. The big portion of it, Fab, okay? And again, you see, like, you're gonna say, okay, and some people are gonna say, well, tell him to buy a North American franchise. Well, guys, he didn't buy a North American franchise. He bought Milan. The fucking problem is that the North American franchise is going to make him a shit ton of money, and he can spend whatever he wants. We play in Serie A. You want to get mad at people? Get mad at Serie A.
No.
Get mad at Serie A, because Serie A doesn't generate enough money for these teams to make money. It's the facts, guys. It's really a tiring topic. Because it's very simple economics, guys.
And honestly, Jerry's only thing that we want to hear about is when he's going to fire the people not creating results. Because in the end, that's what's going to happen. Everybody who's out there who hates Furlani and hates Ibra, hates Moncada, There's reckoning coming. Every game that we go by, somebody is being fired for this.
They're going to get fired. It's
the
North American way.
The one person you want to get upset about is the one guy who won't leave. They're all the Curva chanting every damn game.
He's not going to leave because he spent billions.
The thing is that you should be telling him to fire the people there. Hire more competent people. Get somebody else in there to turn this around. Maybe they got the coach right, but the moves that they're making, somebody's got to go.
Slick Nick.
Jerry doesn't want to spend that paper. He should at least respect our history and hire competent people who know
our fucking history really put us in a good space there, Slick Nico. It really put us in a good space, right? So we want to go down the line of the history? Let's go down the line of the history. We went Pippo Inzaghi, it didn't work. We went Clarence Seedorfer, it didn't work. We're going to go Andrei Shevchenko down the line, it's not going to work. We went Paolo Maldini, it didn't work. Guys, face it, it didn't work. For whatever reason it is, it just didn't work. Some of the signings that he made just didn't pan out. And again, if they had a dick measuring contest, I couldn't give a flying fuck. They're both wrong. Because in the end, my Milan gets mad. And now people are going to hear this, and we're going to have the other podcast call me a Jerry lover. No, I want to win. I do want to win. The only fucking problem that I have, okay? And put this goddamn thing in your head, people, in the internet world, wherever the fuck you're watching this podcast. I want to win. I want to win Scudettos. I want to go to Lord Figo's house, and I want to throw him 7 Champions League trophies. I want to go to my friend's house and parade with my flag like I did for the 19th Scudetto. I want to win. The fucking problem is, guys, is me and everybody in this chat doesn't have $500 million to buy Milan.
This is a good point by Justin.
Yeah.
Why hire all rookies? It's
100% right. 100% right. They made a mistake in identifying what they want to do because either they didn't know or they were not advised properly. But guys, let's go. Now you're gonna have this problem. Ibra the lion is not a lion anymore.
No.
When he's in the office with a suit, he's not a lion. Let's face it.
He's a lion, all right. He's a lion sack of shit.
Fruilani, let's go. Fruilani. Is it maybe for him? I don't know. But then, guys, let's not do minestra riscaldata every single time over here. You know? Again, I want someone who has a direttore sportivo position somewhere and he's saying, hey, he's doing a fucking great job. Maybe he knows what he's doing. And unfortunately, I can't hope that he's fucking a Milanista because chances are he might not be because half of fucking Italy goes for Juve. They're all tainted. But at a certain point, that guy, direttore sportivo, that comes from whichever team, Torino, Hellas Verona, Napoli, Atalanta, if you want even. I'll take him. But give me a project and show me what you want to do.
Yeah, that would be nice, right? Have some clarity. All right, guys. You know what time it is. This segment is brought to you by Football Canada, the home for Serie A and the Premier League in Canada. You can watch all the games, even in Italian, for Serie A. All right, Steve, let's go. Let's get our graphic up. Nicely made by Presidente, right? I believe. So the first game this week was Roma-Genoa. Roma got the victory 3-1. Dovrik started the scoring after Pellegrini gets a shot on, and he cleans it up. Pretty much the easiest goal he's ever going to score. Genoa ties it. But the second half, I mean, we got El Shaarawy scoring a goal, and then they end up with a own goal, and that's the end of Genoa 3-1. Any thoughts on this one?
Roma deserved the 3 points. Genoa looked like lemons.
They did. Unfortunately, not good for, what is it? Who is this? Patrick Vieira, the coach, right, for this one?
Yeah.
For them still? All right, so let's move on to the next game. Bologna hosting Monza, and well. early in this one ends up being Daniel Maldini gets Mons on the board in the 4th minute with a nice goal. But Bologna, they find their way with a header by Castro and then get a second goal by Olengard before the first half ends. Orsolini gets an assist earlier and then a goal in the second half in the 69th minute. Gives Coach Italiano, more points right now compared to Motta's Bologna last season at this current moment. What are your thoughts?
Fact checker Fab is on fire. That's a great stat. People were shitting on Italiano. I think he had to just get his feet wet at Bologna. I think Bologna is a really tough team to play. And Castro, not because I have him in my Fantacalcio, but he's really a mini Lautaro Martinez. Mini. All the Interistas are going to get mad. The guy he's a goal machine.
Yeah, I mean, gets one. Orsolini had a really good game here for Bologna, so keeps them above us. We'll check the table out just a little bit. Obviously, Juventus defeating Milan at home 2-0. Then, which was easily the prime time game, Saturday night fever right here. Atalanta hosting Napoli. I believe this is 1 versus 3 at the table when they came in. Atalanta, this is an exciting game. Retegui leading the league with 14 goals, breaks the 0-0 tie first. Politano gets Napoli back level before Anguissa finds McTominay, who's had a great first season at Napoli, puts Napoli up ahead in the 40th minute. Lookman gets him back level because Napoli's defense looked really shaky there. He ends up getting his 3rd goal against them this season, ties the game in the 55th minute. But Lukaku, Big Kaku, gets Napoli ahead in the 78th minute with a nice near post header, and it puts Napoli up, and Napoli gets a big win, keeping them at the top of the table, Steve.
Yeah, it was a really entertaining match. I'm happy it was the primetime match. This is another one that I reflected on, right? Looking at, Napoli's team from top to bottom. Are they that much better than Milan? I don't think so.
The coach is making a difference there. Oh, next one, Fiorentina hosting Torino. This game, only 2 goals to talk about, but the real play that begins the whole setting the table of this game is Torino gets a red card by Dembele picking up 2 quick cards in the first 30 minutes of the game, gets himself sent off. Keane finds the net for Fiorentina again. Keane's having a good season with them. Gets them up just a few minutes later, but Torino finds the equalizer in the second half. I mean, they really picked the pocket of Fiorentina's defense in the 70th minute, get the tie 1-1. Any thoughts on this one? It looks like Palladino is getting a bit ice cold here in the winter months.
Yeah. Palladino's pants are just getting a little bit tighter, frostbitten. Again, this is Fiorentina's doing their best impression of Lazio.
And you know what? They're dropping valuable points. Let's go to the next slide here. Oh, not that way. Here we go. This one had a lot of them. Cagliari beats Lecce 4-1. Unfortunately for Giampaolo's men, they were left shell-shocked. Despite getting the lead in the first half with Perotti's goal in the 42nd minute, Cagliari flips the game in 4 minutes, basically ends up with 4 in the second half. It could have been even more because they had an offsides that took one of the goals off from the first half. The real play that is the standout moment in this game is Bonehead Ante Rebic getting another red card for an idiotic moment where he basically stomps on one of the other team's players on their shoulder, and they go look, and Barr's like, get this guy out of here. Red card, he's off, and just a bad game for Lecce.
Lecce had a string of games where they were picking up points, and very surprised to get manhandled by Cagliari, who, again, gave us a tough time, but you know how it is with Milan.
This wasn't even they beat the shit out of them in the second half. Excuse my language. Let's go to the next game. Parma hosting Venezia. This one, the 2 goals are both off penalties. And this was a battle between the top 2 bottom 5 teams. So not good for either one of these teams to only pick up a point here. Any thoughts on Parma Venezia?
Parma missed a chance to get out of that pinkish reddish zone where they need to get out of, and I think they're gonna regret this a little bit further into the season because they needed to pick up the 3 points, especially at home.
Strasbourg, Steve. I heard he's looking into that particular surgery that the Falconer was doing. But there is Lazio big victory against Hellas Verona, 3-0 there. Lazio 2 minutes they score with a nice header from Gagut, and then Dia gets a second goal in the 21st minute to double their lead. Zaccani finds the game, finishes the game in the 58th minute. Easy win for Lazio. This is what is it? Is this Dr. Heckle, right? Mr. Hyde is when they lose. So this is Dr. Heckle doing with
This is Lazio playing against nobody. Verona did not show up for this game. I watched this game. It was horrendous from Verona. It was one team on the field, and it was only Lazio.
All right, so the next one, Lord Figo gets his happy 3 points. Inter hosting Empoli, and they win easily 3-1. But this game really is all in the second half. All the goals come in the second half. And Empoli tries to get back in with a goal from Esposito, but then Thuram finishes it off. Goals from Martinez and Dumfries. Inter, they do what they got to do. I don't think they were really in much trouble, especially, in the second half.
No, and this is credit to them and taking care of business, especially at home. Very tough to play Inter at home. Empoli was not in this game, and Esposito, I think, still even belongs to Inter. So they really scored all the goals.
Last game, Como 4-1 over Udinese with a big victory. Diao again, 5th minute gets the score sheet. Strefezia gets a double, gets them to 2 goals in the 44th minute to give Como their 2-goal lead. Piero tries to get one back, but then both of them get a red card within 6 minutes, and they both basically play the rest of the game until 10 men. And then Como adds a couple of more goals to finish the game off. That's Serie A. Let's look at the standings now. Steve, Napoli sitting in first with 50 points, 3 points up on Inter, despite the fact Inter still has a game in hand, so they can get themselves up to be tied with Napoli. Atalanta now sitting in third with 43. Lazio, 4th place, 39. Juve, 5th with 37. Us, unfortunately, sitting there with 31 points in 8th place. Bottom 3 now are Verona, Venezia, and Monza. What are your thoughts, Steve, looking at this table?
I think it's a 3-horse race right now. I think Atalanta's not completely out of it, but the big thing is that 4th spot. I think Lazio could be caught. Losing to Juve, direct rival in this chase, was not great. Our makeup game is against Bologna, who we just said is going to play it tough, and it's away to Bologna. This is going to be a very tough end of the season for Milan. I'm still confident. I think they can string something together. I hope they can string something together that, let's get into that top 4. Let's keep consistency. Let's keep consistency with what we want to do, and that's, play in Champions League. This is for Milan. The surprise, to be honest with you, is seeing, Fiorentina still in 6th, and they do have a game in hand, but again, that's against Inter, and I'm pretty sure if they play them now, we know how that's going to finish. Yeah. But us seeing Lazio in 4th is a surprise. I didn't think they were going to do that well. And Napoli in 1st, honestly. I don't think Napoli is that good. I'll be just very transparent with everybody. I know they're going to hate me, but I'm being honest. I just don't think Napoli is that good. I think playing once a week is a very big advantage for them. And you see it. They don't have to do almost any rotation. And they're getting the consistency that maybe teams like Atalanta, Juve, Inter, are not getting right now. But we'll see.
To me, I think even here, match day 21, I know it's too early to say Atalanta is really out of the race, but it's got to be Napoli Inter at this point. Inter, if they mess up that game against Fiorentina, again, it's only one game, They got to play each other head to head, I believe, still a second time. So a lot. And Napoli only going to have that Coppa Italia. Actually, no, they got eliminated from Coppa Italia, right? They're out. So they're literally only have they only have one tournament. So this is when I look at it, I think it's Napoli's to lose. Yeah, exactly. Napoli beat Atalanta without well, he's gone already. Their best player. Conte's system is solid. I agree, man. Gaucho with Reno, what's up, man? Yeah. The Juve fans are happy tonight. All right, guys. And that has been your Food Boost segment. Where is that video, Steve? There it is. That segment's been brought to you by Football Canada, the home for Serie A and the Premier League in Canada. All right, Steve, let's talk, Steve, because there is some garbage going on in Serie A and predominantly on our roster, right? On our books. Salary strikers in Serie A this season. Stevie, you made this great graphic. Let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, so I was looking. I saw this come across, Instagram or Twitter or TikTok. I forget where I was at, and guys, this is like really jaw dropping, right? So it's the top page strikers in Serie A. Again, you have Vlahovic up there, overpaid at 12 million. You have Martinez, who's probably should be paid 12 million. Dybala overpaid at 6. Lukaku overpaid at 6. Thuram, I think, is
Probably
fairly paid. Leao, I think, when he's on his game, fairly paid at 4.5.
And here then we go.
That, guys, come on. This is ridiculous, guys. This is ridiculous. Alvaro Morata, Tammy Abraham, Origi, and Chukwueze. Guys, this is mismanagement to the max, guys. This is the management, guys. This is, someone should look at this, and I think it was Justin who put it up there. Guys, Justin was 100% right. This is what happens, especially, and I can talk only for the Milan ones. When you hire rookies, when you hire guys that are in panic situations, don't understand, because we needed Origi for what? You telling me that there was no one in Italy at like a third of that price, 1 million, 1.5, who could have done better than Origi did for us? You're telling me there was no one in Italy, and especially if you have to eat that salary of 4.5 million, than Tammy Abraham? We wanted a right wing. We wanted a right wing for I don't know what reason, because last I checked, our best player plays right wing, and it's his best position. And you sign Chukwueze, and he's paid 4 million. And then you say, you know what? We did the experiment, Olivier Giroud. We want to bring in someone who has, a little bit of experience. We're going to bring in Morata, and again, 4.5 million, as much as Leao. Mind you, both of them this year, it's not like one is outshining the other. But if I'm Leao, I'm saying, whoa, I had to break my balls to re-sign this contract at 4.5, and this guy comes from Spain, and you're paying him 4.5. What I would get even more mad at is if I'm Leao, and I'm saying, you're paying me 4.5, and Origi, who doesn't even play for us, makes 4.
What do you guess Matteo Retegui is making currently?
Oh, Fabio, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I mean, the guy who is leading the league, who got picked up as a last-minute purchase, guys. This is the business Atalanta has been doing. You know how much this guy is making? I believe this is, gross. 2.8. 2.8. So you doubled that, almost tripled it, to go get Tammy Abraham and Morata on your books? Is this smart? Honestly, it's insane.
This was an insane, and it flew on that graph because I was watching Atalanta play against Napoli, and the goal that Retegui scored was a striker's goal. Don't tell me it was because he plays for Atalanta and he plays in their system. No, it was a ball that was completely lost in it was Musa's chance, but instead of Musa being there, it was Retegui being there, and he put it top corner.
Man, I mean, it's just when you look at the people, man, and we're gonna go to our next topic. Before we get there, Presidente put up a poll, so we're gonna just read the poll right now and the results. How many people? He asked, "What are our chances of finishing in a particular position? Right? Where will Milan end the season at? Fourth or fifth, sixth or seventh, or eighth or ninth, which is where we are right now." We got updated poll results at the moment. Most people, Steve, they believe.
They believe, and you should believe.
Right now, 47%, that's the most up to date, believe we're going to finish in fourth or fifth. Sixth or seventh or 34%, that's where everybody's leaning. And there's a few of us still pessimistic. Probably Lord Figo picking eighth or ninth at 18%. But Steve, the people feel more confident. Do you really feel that confident when you think about it?
I think the way the league is going and how teams like Juve, Fiorentina are dropping points, I think it's still possible to reach fourth spot, but they got to get their act in gear. It's week 21. We're going to week 22. There's not enough. There's enough weeks, but you got to go on a run.
I don't see that run coming at this current. Again, if we buy players and we're going to get to the winter transfer window, then I can understand to have that belief. But at the moment, I feel like I've seen this bipolar Milan too much. Even when I said when they went down 1-0, we got them right where we want them, boys. Exactly. Sometimes Milan doesn't wake up until we give up a goal. I honestly, how many times are you going to expect that to happen? I think it was a bit of a miracle and good luck that it happened in the Supercopa for us in those two games. We were able to rise up, but I think it's with Pulisic, with Leao, with these players being hungry. I just don't see it happening week in, week out against the drudge of the league. The teams that show up, they play like prime Barcelona against us. All of a sudden they show up and they play the game of the season. Yes, technically, I believe this is all. It wasn't all gross. It was net or something like that. With bonuses,
I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, it's just, guys. Milan has to understand that there's one thing, and again, this is where the owner and like we said,
you heard it. He put it. If we win 5 in a row, you're gonna Royale's leaving. We're gonna get to that. Don't jump the gun.
Yeah, he's gonna buy a Royale kit of Galatasaray, and when you see things like this is where the management has to say, and this is where I say the owner needs to step in. It's like, guys, you have my money. Let's start using it properly.
Yeah.
And again, is Ibra, Friulani, and Moncada the right people? I don't know. It seems Moncada only wants to look in France and loans from Chelsea. Now, is someone telling them that he has to do this? I don't know. But we got to start thinking out of the box because this is ridiculous.
Oh, really, Oscar? Oh, really?
Oscar, you know that the internet's forever, huh? So this will never go down. Unless you hack our account, it's never going down.
All right, let's go to the winter mercato now because we're getting pretty long in the tooth here. All right, Steve, you made this. First of all, Steve, introduce this handsome-looking guy. Who is this guy?
Guys, it's Stevo Hernandez.
First of all, Stevo Hernandez is amazing. But let's talk about some of these transfers that are coming up here, Steve. Before I get Steve, hold on. Before you told me that if Theo doesn't get his act together, Steve-O, he's been doing like LinkedIn and interviews, right? He has a resume. I think this beautiful photo.
Yeah. Steve-O Hernandez is on LinkedIn, guys. Check him out.
So you think we'll pick this guy up, or is that a all right? So let's go through some of this. So obviously, what are your thoughts on the Emerson Royale transfer rumor that's been going on now? Now supposedly we're going to sell him maybe to Galatasaray. Is it true?
Idea. This was like Bonucci all over again. Like this was a guys who's using AI to create transfer rumors that will make me have a fantastic day today. And it was one newspaper, two newspapers, a couple of other sites that I usually check. It's like, wow, you guys want him? Come and take him, guys. Let's take him off. We're gonna lose money on this deal, right? We talked about it a little bit earlier, and that's again mismanagement. Like the reckoning is coming, guys. Like for the people that are in charge, the owner doesn't want to lose money, guys.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have to take the hit for this one, but getting him out seems to be the move for moving Kyle Walker in. And I love this comment for Fuji Fire, from Crown Royale to Johnny Walker. What do you think, man? I mean, obviously we know his background coming from Manchester City. Gio seems to know all of his business. Gio, you're sending us super chats about the Dodgers, buddy. Oh, gee, I love him. All right, but like Gio says, this guy has a lot of issues. Maybe he wants to get away from his wife. Do you trust that he's going to come to Milan and actually do something well?
Absolutely not. I think this is Milan doing minestra riscaldata again. I don't think I said it again in the past. It's getting closer and closer. I'm gonna give him a chance. Let's see if he's worse than Emerson Royale. I am not a Kyle Walker fan. I have never been a Kyle Walker fan. I think he was just lucky to escape Tottenham and end up on Pep's Manchester City, who held the ball so much that he never had to defend. And that's why everybody thinks he's a good defender. But in reality, going forward, I think he's completely lost. He doesn't have soccer IQ. And we'll see. But in my opinion, and I hope I'm wrong, I want to be wrong here. If they do bring him in and they let go of Emerson Royale, am I going to have to start making fun of English people now? I don't know.
Well, I mean, again, let's not get rid of Tomori and obviously you'll have Pulisic there, just more English-speaking guys to kind of get around him. But let's talk about the next one. João Felix keeps coming up in conversation. Yes, same agent as Conceição. I don't know why that matters, but I feel like we're a couple of years late on this kid. Everybody keeps passing him around. It's not a good sign that nobody's like dying to hold on to him. They're trying to ship him out any chance they can, especially here at Chelsea again.
Yeah.
But
so it's very strange with João Felix, right? Because he made that big money move, and then he went to Barca, and then he went to Atletico Madrid, and then he went to Chelsea. Like he's going around and around and around. But the Tomori and Christian Pulisic experiments from Chelsea, push me. And again, this is just me EAFCing it. I would take that chance, because if he becomes that player that everybody was looking for, then we get something very, very interesting. But I see in the chat 100% that he's way too expensive, and he has to show much more consistency. But again, the Chelsea crumbs that fall off the table with what happened with Tomori and what happened with Christian Pulisic, and you can even add Abraham there, who did something well by scoring the Super Cup goal. Why not? Let's go.
All right. So in regards to some of these other, you have Colomane there. They were just being rumored, and then he ends up going to Juve. That deal seems to be imminent. I'm not even sure if it's 100% closed yet, but I was reading that's basically done. He's going to be a Juve player. Now, inform me of who the hell are these other players. I can see a PSV. He's only 79 in FIFA, so that's not good.
Well,
and then
don't look too much at the card.
on the bottom.
Yeah. don't take too much from the cards. I was just trying to be, even across the board. I just typed in EAFC card and whatever came up, came up. I don't know what they mean, but that's Jimenez. He's a Mexican international, plays at
Okay.
PSV. Somewhat young and somewhat promising striker. Again, that would be Milan thinking outside the box. The
Who's the
gentleman from
Empoli guy?
the Empoli guy doesn't even have an EAFC card, and I put him there because I have no problem with that. I really don't. I really have no problem with that. The thing is that why are we looking at players like this, like with this type of pedigree when we need to solidify certain roles, right? So and we can throw Rashford in there. We can throw someone who's very the
Oh, so
Rashford.
he ran his place for Fernayoun.
Oh,
All right,
fine.
whatever.
I have no idea. Whatever the hell it is. Who knows? Who knows what that thing is there?
All right,
Maybe my
so
mistake on the graph. I have no idea. I thought it was PSV. My bad.
what about Rashford? What are your thoughts? I hear he's waiting for Barcelona to
So
pull
then
the
go to
trigger.
Barcelona. Go to
Yeah,
Barcelona. I knew it was going to be that problem. This guy here doesn't want to play for Milan because he's going to have to lower his wages, and Manchester United are not going to want to eat his wages. Go to Barcelona. Get out. Let's go.
Okay, so let's go. Who else is on here, Steve? We got. All right, I can't see the Porto guy, but I'm assuming that'd
Yeah,
be a
so
good
that's the
connection.
Canadian international Eustachio, rumored. I just saw it a couple of places. Again, more of a defensive midfield would be someone interesting, young. Yes, I know he's Canadian. I put him there. My signing is Ricci. I've said it
Yeah,
before. I think
we
he
need a
deserves
midfielder.
he deserves a big club. We need a midfielder. I think he would help. Benacer doesn't seem like he has the legs anymore. Let's go. Tomori out is another one there, and the out of favor defender at Fiorentina. Look, we've had problem. We're gonna take Kyle Walker at 34 years old, but we have a problem taking a 32-year-old who's played in the league for the longest time at Fiorentina. Is fantastic. I think it's Braghi. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
Uh, you know,
Brigi, yeah,
yeah,
something like that.
Brighi. He takes free kicks. Is dangerous. Like, why don't we look at that type of player if we need to? If you want some experience, why Emerson Royale?
I don't know.
Why
Honestly.
Kyle Walker? Like, what's the thing? What's the game here? That's what I want to understand. What's the game?
Well, all right, so let's get into now the super chats and our Patreon. We have one Patreon came from David. His question was simply, what the fuck was that? And I agree. David. I don't know. I don't know what that was. And honestly, I hope to never see it again the rest of the season. Super chat, Anthony. Big up, Anthony. The game for
Boom,
Juventus.
Anthony. Thank you.
We showed we need signings. If I was in Milan, I would offer to drive Emerson to the airport so he can catch his flight, guys. I agree. Gio, what was he, man? Only my Dodgers don't care about making money. We only care about trophies. We're paying 35 minutes. Thank you, Steve. Well needed therapy. You're welcome, G. We appreciate you. Thank you for super chatting twice. Appreciate you, G. Just a couple of good comments here. There's going to be a Black Monday when the season over. Jerry is going to flip. You think that's going to happen, Steve? You think that's a possibility?
Look,
the way they have a Black Monday in the NFL where coaches are fired immediately, the season's over.
Yeah, it's done. You're out of the playoffs. You're gone. You're done. That's the way. And again, it's not something that's very uncommon in Serie A. It's just that we're not used to it at this point, right? The coaches, we had our Black Monday when Fonseca was out. It was a mistake. That's mistake number one. And you're going to have no choice at a certain point if you don't get the results. And once, he might not understand it now. He'll understand it after. But once not making Champions League, if that's the case, hits your pocket, he's going to say, well, then we have a problem.
I like this. Grabbing some connections from Porto, 23-year-old CDM, exactly what we need. Get some cover there.
There you go.
That would be nice. All right, let's just do the preview now. Milan at Girona. Excuse me, Milan versus Girona. Milan hosting this game. Where's my notes here, Stevie? Let me pull it up. So where we are at the Champions League right now, this is round 7 out of 8. So second to last game of the group stage. Milan currently in 12th position. Obviously, the top 8 in this new format get the knockout bye. So that's what you're aiming for, to get out of that knockout two-legger that you want to avoid. Girona sitting 30 out of 36, guys. Bottom 6 of the league. They will not progress into the next round.
We're playing the Cagliari of the Champions League. There you go. We already understand what's going to go on.
Only 4 goals to their 10 that they've given up this year, so they have not been prolific in scoring. So Milan really has to come out. We have no Tomori due to suspension, and obviously Chow has picked up a knock, so who knows if he's going to be healthy enough to play this game. So people are expecting Pavlovic to get the start and possibly Gabia to play with him. But interesting how Pavlovic was rumored in a few things just last week. Now, because of injury, because of suspension, possibly he's going to be starting in a Champions League game that is extremely important. What are your thoughts here for tomorrow, for Wednesday's game?
3 points. Get me 3 points. It's a team that's struggling. You just came off a game that, very high importance in Serie A, where you did not show up for the second half. For 96 minutes, show up in front of your home crowd, and let's turn this season around. If it's against Girona, has to feel the pain, make them feel the pain. I want something convincing. I want something that, everybody could be proud of. That's what we need. We need that type of game.
Man, I think this is going to be another one of those bipolar games where we just squeeze it out. It's not going to leave anybody happy, but we get the 3 points. I see a 2-1. To me, that's what I think is going to happen. Again, defense looks shaky. I can see us going down first and then having to battle back.
Yeah, of course. Write the script.
Girona lost to Sevilla 2-1 recently. And you know what's funny? We're both in 8th place in our collective respective leagues. We're in 8th in the Serie A, and they're in 8th in La Liga. So you see, guys, this team is right at our caliber at the moment. So we'll see how it works out. Guys, almost an hour, 8 in, parting shots. Stevie, you're the host. You go first, baby.
Where have we come in this world in Serie A, where Fenerbahce comes from the Turkish league, and no disrespect to the Turkish league, to the Serie A and asks for players? Who the fuck is Fenerbahce? This is out of control, though. Like, if the old archaic people of Serie A have not figured out that their league needs to change, even after seeing the Mercato, like, if we have money problems across Italy, the Turkish league, I'm sorry, the Turkish league, it's not the English Premier League there. They're not getting 200 million to win the super Turkish league title, whatever the fuck it's called. You understand? Like, if they're like, okay, EPL, I understand the EPL. Everton's gonna come calling. Yeah, great. Everton now is owned by the same owners of Roma, because they said, hey, if I'm gonna lose money at Roma, I might as well buy an EPL team because I have that much money, and maybe it'll balance out.
I agree. Who cares? They want Emerson. Give them Emerson. They're doing us a favor. The fact that anybody comes a calling for our Make-A-Wish player, Emerson, just get rid of it. Can we get at least some sort of option to buy for 5 or 8, 10 million, something, so we can get rid of this guy, get him off our books, and guarantee to make it a minimal loss instead of the full 15, like we should have never given up. How stupid we were for that. Stevie, my parting shot, first and foremost, before he never leaves me alone. Shout out to Facebook Frank for the Milan Club Toronto hat. Big ups to you, Frank.
Frank, make sure to leave him a really long message, huh?
Or some pictures nobody asked for. No, we love you, Frank. Thank you, buddy. Big ups to my club for the people that came out. Unfortunately, we share the bar with Juve's New York City club, so we had to hear them. And of course, they decided to start talking at the end of the game. They're usually quiet the whole time. But big ups to everybody who came out to Legends Bar, Football Factory. Go check them out on Wednesday. There will be members of the club there, 3 p.m. It's Champions League, always gets packed, guys. So go early if you want to go. And yeah, the next couple of games we're going to be missing. The next one, I will be there. Milan Inter on February 2nd. So come check it out. Steve, always a pleasure to be here with you. I'm going to do this, the Vinny, and say, any final words, Steve?
Any final words? Any final words again? Any final words again? Guys, Forza Milan, guys. This is crunch time. We got to turn this boat around, guys. Positivity. Let's go. Let's try to be positive. I don't know. It's going to be hard. I hate losing against Juve. I can't stand him. I know me and Justin on the same page there. Very, very, very vocal Juve fans all of a sudden. Didn't hear a word from them from who knows when. Not even before the Coppa. Even before the Coppa, Justin, they were in depression mode. They were at Tony Sopranos's psychiatrist for the longest time.
Dr. Melfi?
They were watching reruns of the Golden Girls during those 12 ties. Now, all of a sudden, for Juve, fino la fina, ma fino la fangul. You and all you suck.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Everybody in the chat, check us out. Stay tuned. Wednesday night, me and Gio will be coming with Coast to Coast. Stevie, always a pleasure. Forza Milan, we are not dead.
Forza Milan.
E sempre.
Forza Milan.
Peace out, everybody. Good night.